It's TYT Talent, and I am so happy to be with you guys today. We are here ready to get another interview in, and make sure you guys are watching. Make sure you guys are supporting the Sabine High School project. And once again, thank you guys for being here, and we will be right back really soon, and we will get the interview started. All right, here we go. So Sabine High School is the former Sabine High School was built in 1958 to educate African Americans children. It closed in 1970 when all schools was desegregated based on the Supreme Court decision Brown versus Brown of education. All schools in the United States had to be desegregated, and Sabine High School was used as one of the many junior high schools from 1970 to 2002. In March 2020, they was declared a historical site. So we're gonna get into this interview, guys. It is so beautiful. I'm so happy you guys are on the platform today. And let's get started. So the first question I have for you guys is, it's prom season, you guys. So talk to us about the prom season, the prom at you guys Sabine High School. Talk to us about the prom at Sabine High School because it's definitely prom season.
I think you have Miss Sabine High School there. I think she should start.
That was years and years ago, Herb. But I'll start. When it was prom time, we didn't have all of the things that these children have now, like limousines and all of that kind of stuff. We just had, most of us walked. I lived across the street from the school, and I had on my prom dress, and we just walked right across the road and went into the gym, and we would dance the night away. We had punch and cookies, and we would have so much fun because that would be the only time that we would really get a chance to dress up like that. And even the community would come out to see us. They would come out and they would park their cars along the street so they could see us going to the prom. Some of us, that was the first time we'd ever had on high heel shoes. So that was a good time. There are just so many memories of the prom. Oh, we did have cookies. Cookies and punch. And we had little finger sandwiches.
Okay.
Miss Bush would take those little sandwiches and they'd make them a triangle shape. And we would sit around and we would eat, and she was teaching us how really to do things in a formal situation like that.
That's true.
Now, what about yours prom? Because this was years and years ago for me.
My prom was in 2009. Believe it or not. No, excuse me. That's the year I graduated. So yeah, it was 2009. It's funny. I'm a teacher, full-time teacher, and I told the kids now the way you guys do it now is so different. I can't say I had the limousine, but the limousine was because one of my closest friends in high school, he had the limousine, and it was three couples that came together and we rode in the limousine like that. So it wasn't my parents bought me a limousine and I was the girl in the limousine. I only got the limousine because of that. And we all went to the mall. So we did have a pit stop. So instead of the community coming to us, we kind of like got in the streets and show our dress off like that. But we had family members that came to our house to make sure they saw us off. And my best memories of the prom, believe it or not, is having my mother and my father there, helping me get dressed and coming down the steps and having my father there to see me get dressed. So I'm blessed to say with my parents that some people don't have that, and then some people get dressed with their friends and stuff, and that's how they want to get dressed. I'm just blessed to say I'm glad I still had that mindset that I wanted my parents to be there. And when I look back over it, that's a memory I could always cherish. Like you said, I was excited to put some makeup on because my mom and dad they won't having that. So that was my one day I got to put the makeup on, and it was all good in the neighborhood.
That's great.
So
That's great.
yes, I love that. I love that. So let's discuss how Sabine High School history. You guys are getting the story out to current high schools now about, just how you guys did things, the memories, and how you just said things don't look like the way things are done now. How are you guys getting that whole story out and allowing high schools to just compare and say, wow, we came a mighty long way, or thank you guys for the legacy that you guys have done for us. How are you getting that story out? Or your stories to talk about that?
I think my high school days was because Sabine High included first through 12th. So my high school experience was really good because everybody knew everybody. They knew you knew their parents and all that. And I don't very few people had cars, so we would always walk to school or we could be bused to school. So the one thing that I remember when it was time to go to class, the teachers would be standing outside of the door, so you couldn't go to another door. It was a lot of discipline in the high school. You had to do things the right way. And so up here. So it didn't matter. You got home that afternoon and your parents phone, they still knew. So there was like a community high
Okay.
school. So everybody was informed on why do you pass Miss Bush's door or why did you pass Mr. Ruffins' door. I'm like, how do you know that? We don't have a phone. But anyway, but it was a very disciplined attitude. And our principal, he always stood in front of the library. He could see everything. He was a very tall man. And you had the utmost respect for him. And the people would be quiet. They didn't have to ask you be quiet. They just knew to be quiet when they came out that hallway. Because Mr. Maxey was standing right
Mm,
there, shaking one leg, bending one leg in the back. And it's like, oh, okay, stop talking. So, but it was very disciplinary area, the hallway, coming to another class. Okay.
got you. So, talk about right now. You guys have plans to have the facility say as an entrepreneur banker, excuse me. So let's talk about where are you guys specifically are at with the process.
You mean the
With
process?
of what? The revitalization
Can
process?
you guys still hear me?
Yeah, we can hear
Yes, we
you.
can
What
say.
process are you referring to?
Okay. So where are you guys? I don't know where my camera is. Okay. Where are you guys at far as the process, far as your construction and redeveloping?
Herb, you want to try it?
Yeah, well, one of the things that just happened to us in this past week that was great. We just received another grant from I think the National Park Service for $750,000. We had also received the grant last year for $750,000. So the first $750,000 will allow us to do some things like asbestos removal, get the first phase of the project really off the ground as far as things like some construction, some updating on the actual gym itself. The additional 750,000 will allow us to move into what we call phase two, which is basically upgrading the what was formerly the lunchroom. The lunchroom right now is really a meeting space for the community where people actually have receptions, private parties, retirement parties, community meetings. So the second 750,000 will allow us to move forward on that part of the project very quickly. Okay, so we met with the architects and the contractors. We had a meeting with them probably about a month ago. as part of our regular meetings to get updates from them. So things are beginning to move right along. I think right now, once we get the asbestos situation taken care of, then things are going to start to move a lot quicker. And we still have to work toward renovating the additional 3 buildings that we have. But if we can get this lunchroom and this gym where the prom used to be, okay, we can get that off the ground and moving pretty quickly. I think we'll start to garner a lot more community support, okay, because it just takes a while to get all of the basic things started and all of the what do I say, financing in place, plans in place before shovels actually hit the ground and you see dumpsters. So we're at that point where I think the dumpsters are probably going to start to get on campus, and we're going to start to, I mean, accelerate the actual renovation of the school. So the other
And you know
750
what?
was big.
Uh-huh. Go ahead.
Yeah,
I'm good.
that's yeah. Go ahead, Pat.
No, I was, because we are community based, so even now there are people that are working on that campus to revitalize the outside.
Yes,
That's it, Herb. That's
yes,
all I want to say. So they're hired and being
yeah.
paid by the government.
Mhm.
Got you. Got you. So let's talk about that community piece, like you just said. Even now, different people are hopping in. So how is the community hopping in as of right now, far as what's open to the public that they can go in and use? Is there any part of the campus that's open for them to be able to use?
Oh,
Well, yes, the cafeteria is being used right now.
Hmm.
It's a like somebody was saying, they use it for reunions and other kinds of things. It's a part of the community right now where it's very, very active.
yes.
Got you.
There's
Got you.
probably there's probably something going on at that cafeteria probably every weekend down there. Okay. The other thing we have, we have a food bank. We have a
Yeah.
partnership with another organization where we
Yeah.
actually are serving the
Yes.
community. I think we're serving
Hmm.
probably 2 to 3, maybe about 300 people a week out of that facility. Okay, where and I think it's called Pine.
Pine Belt.
Pine Belt is an organization where we partner with them, where they use that space to actually feed the community. Another thing that's happening, and we have a community garden that's on the campus right now, where people were actually beginning to grow vegetables and stuff for the community. Even though Manny is not the food desert that you would see in some major cities, we do have grocery stores down there. We do have the Walmart. uh, we still need a place where people can come in and get, fresh food right out of the garden with
Okay.
little or no cost. So those things are happening right now. Yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. So do you guys see any in the future? Do you guys see any hosting any annual meetings, excuse me, annual banquets or annual events for you guys, such as March 2020 to celebrate the historical site being declared as a historical site? Do you guys see any annual events for that? Or you haven't thought about that far down
Oh,
the
no, 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 no. Let me tell you, I don't want to dominate this conversation. Right now, I'm acting as the interim president of the National Alumni Association of Sabine High School. Okay, we still have that organization in place, even though the school closed in 1970. Now, what we're going to do this year, we're looking to have our meet and greet for the biannual reunion at Sabine High School. We're looking to maybe have the convention in the cafeteria this year. We still have to run that by the board. But once the facility is updated, um, I can, we as an organization would expect to use that Sabine High School as um, our annual convention space. Right now, well, it's every 2 years, but no,
Okay.
we don't want it. My thing is, I don't see why we should go to a resort or a
Right.
hotel or somewhere else and spend thousands of dollars when the basis of the entire alumni organization is sitting right there and ready to go. So
Mhm.
I'm hoping and praying that this year will be the last year that we go off site to have that convention. And last year I had my 50th year high school reunion, right? And so what we did, we had our initial event at Sabine High School last year, and I see other classes that are doing the same thing. So there will be annual events there, and believe me, once this thing is up and running, I'm sure that Miss Coleman, I call her Dr. Coleman, is gonna we will be having a big shindig down there every August, when what we used to call a big meeting time, okay,
Okay.
to commemorate something this big. So I can see it happening. Yeah.
What's the convention all about?
Well, in 1975, Sabine closed in 1970, right? In 1975, some former students put together what they call a National Alumni Association of Sabine High School. And what they did was said, hey, we're going to come home. Normally, in the past, people will come home the third weekend in August for what we call revival at the churches. Okay. And it was kind of an informal reunion time where people came home because, we're in the South, small city, and a lot of people were part of the Great Migration. They moved to Chicago, they moved to California, they moved to these other places. But we would always come home third week in August. So they incorporated the alumni weekend into that third weekend in August, and they started having a formal events, meet and greets. They would have speakers come in. They would actually have a convention. We are a 501 C3 organization, and it was just they would have a ball. So all of that started to happen, and that's been going on since 1975. So this year would be like the 49th year. So it's a big deal, even though a lot of the old members have passed away. We're now trying to make sure that we keep the history and the legacy of excellence alive for Sabine High School through that organization. And we think that the Revitalization Project is going to be a vehicle to do that. And matter of fact, the Alumni Association, we're kind of partnered to a certain degree with the Revitalization Project, because I don't think you can have an alumni organization without the Revitalization Project, because we all come from the same base there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So, what is one of the fondest memories at Sabine High School? And then we'll flip the question: what is the most embarrassing moment at Sabine High School? What is one of your fondest memories, like you never forget, other than the prom?
Well, we always had great homecomings. We would have,
Okay.
oh yeah, we had home. We would have the float. We had the parades downtown. I think Sabine High School was the only school that had the parade downtown. Don't you? In that's all I remember. We always would have the floats. The whole community would come out and to support us, and we would. Then we would march all the way downtown, and then we would march back to the school and disperse from there. And the queens would be on. The queens would be on the floats, because
Mm-hmm.
see, I have to say I was the queen from the time of my freshman year. See, and the way you got to be the queen, you had to raise the most money.
Okay.
So being a Garner, with all of the Garners in town, that just it was gonna be mine anyway, because everybody was gonna take up a collection for us, for me. And and that's the way I got to be the queen every year. It wasn't that I was that popular, it was the money that was involved. And so we would go, and we would other things that we would do, we would have the homecoming dance. I mean, we just had, I think about Sabine High School, especially in that little incubator that we were in. We got all everything that a big city school would get. We had it because our principal had gone out of state to get his master's, and he came back and he brought all of those wonderful ideas. We
Okay.
had uh, and then Miss Bush had our home economics teacher. Oh, that lady would give us so many things. We would have banquets. We would have the banquets. You would have the 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 kids who were like in ninth and 10th grade, they would be the servers. She would show them, they would have on these little aprons, and they would all come out and she was showing them how to do things like they did them in the city. So
Okay.
we really were a small town, but we had big city ways, I'll say.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That training piece. Let's talk about that training piece. As you said, the well, the undergraduate, excuse me, the knife and the little babies underneath you guys had the opportunity to serve you guys. So let's talk about how Sabine High School trained you guys for the real world. How did Sabine High
Well,
School train you for the real world?
well, the thing is this. I almost call my Aunt Teeny because that's my aunt right there with the Sabine High School T-shirt on. But,
Okay.
Mr. Maxey, who actually went to Southern in 1934, okay, ended up going to Wayne State University up in Detroit soon after he graduated out of Southern. So when he came back, he had this idea that I'm going to make Sabine High School the best high school, not in Louisiana, but in the country itself. Okay. And so when he came back, all of these things, everything that we did socially had a teaching component to it. Okay. We had, like Miss Turner said, I almost call Aunt Teeny. They taught you things about etiquette. Okay. They taught you how to dress. They taught you how to conduct yourselves in interviews. They taught you how to walk, how to conduct yourself in public spaces. Because the thing that you have to understand, that when you left Sabine High School, you represented not only your family, Sabine High School, but you also represented the town of Manny and, like I say, your family name. So all of those things were taught to you as a person as growing up at Sabine High School. And it started in the first grade. Okay. They taught you etiquette. They taught you how to communicate. They taught you how to be respectful. And so all of those things were just ingrained in us from day one. We didn't know we were learning all of that stuff growing up, but then when we went out into the world, we realized that we had spring concerts, okay,
Okay.
where we had spring concerts with the band. I played in the band. We had the football season. We had the homecomings. We had the
Hmm.
coronations. We had Black History classes and Black History events. We listened to things in the concerts like Handel's Messiah. Okay, these were things that you just didn't get in every high school. Okay, we had Negro spirituals. We had plays where you participated in plays. You know, we had it all. I think we were poor down there in the South, but from a standpoint of culture, which I can't overemphasize, our worlds were very expanded at Sabine High School because of Mr. Maxey and the leadership that he had with the excellent teachers and faculty that we had at Sabine. Yeah. So
So it's graduation season too. So let's talk about graduation season. Y'all had it all. So let's talk about how you guys graduation
Okay.
was.
Could I say something? Could I add
Yes,
something to what Herb was saying?
yes.
That one thing that Mr. Maxey would do, he would bring back teachers he would go out and recruit teachers. And
Okay.
especially if they had finished from Sabine High School, he wanted them to come back and invest in us because
Okay.
he felt like if we could connect to them because those teachers poured into us at
mhm,
all times. And Sabine High School, like way before we even got into the school, because we had people who had already finished there because I went to Grambling State University. And when I got there, we already had four instructors who had finished from Sabine High School.
Mhm.
There was a lady there named Dr. Eva Pearl Lewis. There was another one there named Eva Pearl Harvey. There was another one there named Dr. Helen Richards and another one named and a man, Mr. Earl Maxey. So we had a basis when we would get away from Manny. and anybody who went to Grambling, you had those people who were there helping us. And so they had already gone through Sabine High School as students and as teachers.
Yeah.
Came back and gave back to the community. I love that.
That's
I love
right. Came back.
that.
Mhm.
I love that. And that's important because, as the old saying goes, don't forget where you come from.
That's right. That's right.
Sure.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
important. Love it. So let's talk about that graduation time. Talk to us about how you guys graduation, how Sabine High School went all out for you guys graduation.
Yeah,
Yes.
Pat, what year did you graduate?
I graduated in 1968, and it was, I
Okay.
never knew how the process that they went through in order for us to get cap and gowns. I never understood the process. But we lined up outside of the gym. But remember about I graduated. I remember all the valedictorians and the salutatoriums. But this sticks out. I actually had a song during one graduation, and I'm like, I don't even sing well.
Okay.
But anyway, and that was a very enjoyable thing for me, very enjoyable. So I think through it all, as we we had to wear certain things. The gowns were a certain length, and I think we like by I think it was by alphabetical order. I don't know if it was by height, the alphabetical order, but I know
Hi.
I was almost at the
The
end of the
height.
line, and
Hi.
it was nice. And all the community participated. My mom and dad would come, and I think that's the first time they ever heard me sing. But they say, "Oh, you can sing." So, but overall graduation, and you listen to what the people had to say, and say, "Oh, wow, she was really smart." I remember the young man who got it. I remember the young ladies who shared the highest honor there, and it was nice. It was the I would tell you the gymnasium would be full. It would be full. So there was
Mm-hmm.
great support in the
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
community. Great support.
And the people would just be dressed so nice. I mean, women had on their hats, men had on
Yes.
their suits and ties, women had on their Sunday best. And what we would do in getting ready for it, I mean, we just had to really practice all the time. Look like during those last few couple of weeks or so, because we wanted to look perfect. And we had to all march the same way, how we would all lean over to the same way, and how we all had to step the same way. And it was just so organized. It was just a grand experience. We would have on those blue. I guess you all had on. Did you all have on blue robes? We had on the blue.
We
With
had
yeah.
Yes.
blue
Blue Rose.
robes on, and
Blue Rose.
yes,
Mhm.
and you guys. Mhm.
And oh,
And you know
another
what
thing I have
else?
to go
The
back.
the the ministers in the community came. They would be on stage
Mhm.
with the principal and
That's
some
right.
of the
Okay.
teachers. So, and even the minister of my church who didn't live there, he came to the graduation. He lived like probably about 50 miles away, but he came to the graduation. So you saw all the support that you were getting from the adults that really wanted
Mhm.
you to be something. So that
That's
gave you an
right.
incentive to even go further.
Yeah,
Love it.
because we not only had graduation, we had what they call baccalaureate. Okay.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
We had a couple of nights of graduation. You had the regular graduation ceremonies, and you had the baccalaureate.
Hmm.
Okay. And I think that was more, Auntie, you can help me out here, more religious based.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I
Mhm.
didn't get a chance to graduate from Sabine High School. I graduated from Manny High School, and I still think I need therapy behind that because I wanted I wanted to graduate from Sabine. It was a format. It was a formal, very serious uh, time for baccalaureate
It
and
was.
graduation. Okay, Mr. Clarence Thomas used to play this song called "The War March of the Priest." For when you walked in, we didn't walk in on your regular graduation, whatever that little graduation song is. A song called "War March of the Priest." It was a very dramatic song that he would play on the piano. And he would play that song until everybody walked in, and you walked in a very choreographed manner. People were quiet, people weren't talking, people weren't up and walking. But what it did, what it gave you this sense of pride that you graduated from Sabine High School, but it also lets you know that this is only the beginning, not the end, but the beginning of something else, because you knew you had been prepared to move forward. So it was a big deal for us in Manny. Like you said, people, your neighbors came, even if they didn't have kids or grandkids or whatever, people came to support it. And then we got to Manny High School, and it was complete opposite. It was pathetic. But Sabine High School's graduation was a big, big deal. It was probably the
Yeah.
biggest event in Manny. We had the spring concerts and we had some other things, but boy, that graduation was the culmination of a lot of accomplishment for a lot of children and their parents, a lot who in those days probably didn't graduate from high school. So to see your kid walk across that stage and get that diploma as being high school, it was a big deal. It really was. Yeah, I'm just saying, it was a.
And also for the graduations, Mr. Maxey would always, when I was in high school, he would always get somebody who had finished from Sabine High School to come back to be our speaker to kind of motivate us. Said, now you see what this person is doing. I remember there was a man named can't think of his name, but he lived in California at that time. His last name was Harris. And he came back and spoke to us. And I mean, we were just in awe that somebody would come all the way from California to speak at a graduation.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
That's beautiful, because one thing I think about now, because we had our baccalaureate service at our high school, but when we graduated, we went off campus right now in Danville, Virginia, Avery University. So that's beautiful that you guys actually had your graduation at the school,
Mm.
because
Yeah.
that's one thing I always reflect. And going to Virginia State University, when you graduate on your campus that you spent time with, it's definitely a different feeling. So that's
Mhm.
beautiful. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. So,
Mhm.
what is one thing you would tell the graduates of 2024? Something to encourage them right now, whether it's something looking back from saving high school years or right now, what would you tell them?
Mm.
Graduates of 2024, what would you tell them? Because y'all came from a mighty long way. And as Samaya said, you guys lived through those historical times. So, what would you tell that class of 2024 coming out as of right now?
I think I would still tell them some of those values that they put into us. Said they would tell us all the time, always treat people with respect
Mm-hmm.
and, and dignity, and
Mhm.
always respect yourself. And anywhere you go, be proud of where you are from, that you can share things with other people. And when I was in high school, we had this term that you call swagger.
Okay.
And it is back now. I noticed that's what's so funny. Swagger came back when they said swagger, that means you walk with your head up high and you walk with pride. And the girls kind of strutted.
Okay.
And the boys, they kind of walk real prideful too. So we used to call that was the swagger in us.
Okay. Okay.
So always carry yourself with utmost respect and expect respect from others.
Yes.
Mm, 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 mm. Love it.
And to
Love it.
live the truth what you have inside, because it'll
That's
pay
right.
off in the end. Sometimes you might not be a part of the in crowd, but if you live your truth, you will, you will come out to be something that you can be proud of, and just walk in that. No matter what direction in education you take, make sure it's the direction. Just live well. Don't try to be a part of the
Mhm.
game. Sometimes you have
Yes.
to be outside. Live your. We, you can. You can manage
That's
Mhm.
life.
right. That's right.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm gonna keep it simple. There's a one of my favorite groups is called Curtis Mayfield and the Impressions, and they had a very political message. but they had a song in the 70s called Keep On Pushing. Okay. And every time I hear that song, I think of Sabine High School. Okay. Talking about the mountains in your way and all of those things. But they keep the refrain of the song is just to keep on pushing. And that's what we need to tell our children and these kids in the class in 2024. No matter what the obstacles are, no matter
Yes,
how
yes.
dire times are,
Mm-hmm.
our people have overcome so many things because we kept on pushing.
That's
Okay.
right.
And it's
Yeah.
just listen to that song. And every time I hear it, I think it's being high school. Just keep on pushing because of the background and the roots that you came from run very, very deep from Manny and Sabine High School. Just keep on pushing.
I love it. So, what's one memory you guys would love to say you still think about instantly and inspires you to keep on pushing now in this age and time? So one of those memories that would you sitting back and you have hard times going, but it's one thing in Sabine High School that motivates you to keep on pushing. What is one of those hold on stories that you just hold on tight to?
Hmm.
Well, I'm gonna say this. I'll make it quick. It's not a story, anything in particular, but what's kept me going and keeps me going now is you just wanted to make the sacrifices that the Miss Bushes made, that Miss Turner made, and Mr. Maxey made in order for us to move to the next level. And that continues to motivate me today. And I'm almost 70 years old. Okay, it's just to um, keep pushing because you represent more than yourself. Your life is more than just you. Your life is your community and your family and Sabine High School. And so it's just an accumulation of an aggregate of all of those things that I learned at Sabine High School that continues to keep me going right now, 50 plus 60 years later.
Okay. Got you. All right. So one more last question that I have to ask you guys, so we could all keep on traveling with the story is, what is the next big plans that you guys have for as the next step? Or you can answer it as in what you guys are working on right now that's close to the finish line for us the redevelopment of the campus.
Hmm.
Well, like I said, the next big thing now is, we've gotten some good seed money based on the two grants we've gotten and some other grants we've gotten. Um, I guess the next big steps is to actually start some of the deconstruction and reconstruction work at the school. And I
Okay.
think once that starts to happen, things will probably start to move a lot quicker. It's just taken us a while to get everything in place based on working with the government for grants and all these other things that you have to do. But the plans are in place now. And the big thing now, I think that, within the next 6 to 12 months, you're going to see a transformation, a physical transformation of that campus. And I think that physical transformation is going to really ignite the interest and the excitement in the community once they see the walk being walked and not just the talk being talked.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You
So
guys have that first building that you know you're heading off to
yeah,
get
we're,
the
we're
first.
heading off. We're heading off to what we call a gymnasium.
Okay, I
Yeah,
thought so.
yeah, the gymnasium was the basis for the plays, for the basketball, for the concerts. And we figure once we get that gymnasium up and running, then it's going to increase together, be a gathering space for people to come in. It's going to be multi-purpose because you'll be able to use it as a recreation center, be able to use it for events. You're going to be able to use it for meetings. You're going to be able to use it for whatever. So once we get that done, then I think we're going to move on to the cafeteria right now is still this really being used. So the gymnasium will be first and the cafeteria will be second. And I can see both of those things happening within the next, I don't know, hopefully within the next 8 to 12, 14 months. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
One thing I would like to say too is I always have this little motto that it takes all of us. And I congratulate those of us who are supporting this, sending in, every month we have we send in money, but we need more. We need more people
Yes.
to start sending in their dues for the convention and the money that we need for the revitalization project. We cannot sit back and expect other people to do for us what we can do for ourselves.
Yes.
So I just say it just takes all of us. And I encourage anybody who hears this message, we need to just buckle up. And you might think, oh, I don't think I can send anything. But if you think about it, you can. It can be done. So I'm just encouraging everybody to remember it takes all of us.
Yes. And let me mention one thing. Even though we've gotten this money in from these grants, that's a drop in the bucket. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That is a drop in the bucket, even though it's good money, but it's a drop in the bucket for the things that we need to do, because not only do we have the gym and the cafeteria, we still have about 4 other buildings that we need to renovate, okay, in order to do these things we want to do to serve the community. So that little bit of money that we're getting, and we are thankful for, we are definitely thankful for. But again, it's only there are restrictions on how that money can be used because it's grant money. We still need money for operating expenses. We still have
Mm-hmm.
water bills to pay and gas bills to pay, and certain staff who are there doing some things. So we need money for operating. Okay, so just don't think you guys got all of this money. No, that's only a drop in the bucket compared to what we actually need to make this thing successful. Okay.
Okay. Do you have a specific spot, even if we're not alumni, people will want to donate? Do you have a specific spot they can donate to or send it in?
Oh yeah, SabineBlueWaves.org, SabineBlueWaves.org, or Google the Sabine High School Revitalization Project, and it will take you to the website where you can actually donate money, set up recurring payments. But go to that website, and uh, it's set up so you can easily donate. And we encourage everybody to do it. It takes a village like it used to, and we need ongoing funds to make this thing happen.
Okay. So is
And
it anything? Go
well, I
ahead,
was
Miss.
going to say it was for me. I finished high school in 1958. And so a lot of the new things that's coming out now, I know they have the Zelle and all of that, but checks, I found out checks still work.
Yeah. Yes, checks does work. Checks does work. I love it. I love it. So if you guys don't have anything else to share with the crowd, I will close it down. Do you guys have anything else to share?
No, continue to support us with your prayers and with your monetary donations and with ideas. Okay, we want to draw from everybody, and just help us to make this thing successful, because it benefits not only Louisiana, not only Manning, but Sabine Parish, Northwest Louisiana. That's our goal, to incorporate this thing into the entire region and to help all people who are down there, not just a certain group of people, but all people. This is going to benefit. Again, this rising tide is going to lift all boats, and we plan to be the rising tide in Northwest Louisiana.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. All right, so this is TYT Tally, and we are here with Sabine High School alumni. It's been beautiful talking to you guys on this afternoon. Guys, continue to support the page. Continue to go give donations if you will. And understand and support. You can also like, heart, share the video, get the word out there, tell your friend, let them know what's happening. And we thank you guys for everything you have done for this process. And I'm gonna tell you guys, keep on pushing.
All
Because
right.
they
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much.
So this is TYT Tally with Sabine High School alumni. Make sure you guys have a wonderful day, and we appreciate you watching. And see you next time.
Thank you.